Get ready. 10 seconds. 5 seconds. Start. Mr. Chairman, I rise to support the resolution which my honorable friend has moved in this house. While doing so, I do not agree with all the arguments that he has advanced in support of his resolution. He has given certain impressive figures to show how our budget is expanding year by year and how the national debt is rising both in absolute terms and in per capita terms. It is true that our budget is expanding and our national debt is rising, but it would be difficult to argue that the expansion of the budget and the increase in our national debt are dangerous evils in themselves. We have to realize that after India became independent, very many states have undertaken certain responsibilities which were not considered to be normal government responsibilities during the British regime. We have now undertaken the responsibility of expanding our economy at a very fast rate, and I hope it is the policy of the nation as a whole that in order to expand economic activities at a rapid rate, it is desirable that the government itself should undertake certain responsibilities in this matter. It is now, I hope, a policy which is agreed to by all the sections of our people that the public sector has to expand very fast in order that this responsibility might be discharged adequately by the government. If the public sector is to expand, obviously the budget has to expand simultaneously with it because the various government departments are responsible for controlling and managing the concerns in the public sector. If the public sector is to expand, it is also quite natural that the national debt should rise because it is only by raising capital in the market that the government is in a position to establish and run concerns in the public sector. Government as such has not got any capital of its own which it can plow back into various concerns first for establishing those concerns and then for running them. It is therefore necessary that our exchequer will have to take the responsibility of at least finding the initial capital and for some time the working capital in order to establish and work the various concerns in the public sector. It is therefore quite natural that the budget figures should expand and the national debt should rise. At the same time, one has also to consider whether the establishment and expansion of the public sector is the only explanation for the increase in budget expenditure and increase in national debt. it is very difficult to give any opinion offhand in this matter. But if one were to reply on the findings of the Planning Commission and the sentiment which is often expressed by the government spokesmen themselves, then one might say that there is considerable increase in the non-developmental expenditure of the government. It is that part of the increase which is really a matter of concern both to the country as well as to this house. Now, sir, the government has by implication accepted the proposition that non planned expenditure is increasing and that there is need for economy all round. Various committees have been appointed to which my honorable friend has made reference in order to find out whether non developmental expenditure could be reduced to a reasonable size. Unfortunately, in spite of the deliberations of these committees and the efforts that these committees have made to find out how the expenditure could be reduced, very little impressive results seem to have been achieved so far, and it is this aspect of the matter which is creating considerable concern in the country. I would not agree with the two speakers who have just spoken before me that the taxes in this country are abnormally high. We are only taxing 8% of the national income so far, and that is a very modest figure. I know that the burden of this tax is falling on the shoulders which are too weak to bear it, and it is this which is creating dissatisfaction in the country. There is considerable scope for reconsidering the entire tax structure in our country to see that the taxes are so distributed that those who are able to bear the burden thereof are really taxed much more than those who can ill afford to pay these taxes. At the same time, as far as the percentage of national income is concerned, the taxation is not very high and there is a scope for further increase. Again, the question is whether this increased taxation is going to be used for the development of the country or for expenditure which does not bring an adequate return in terms of capital formation, in terms of a rapid rise in the economic development, and in terms of raising the standard of living of the people. In this connection, it is very natural to note that when there was a strike notice given by the central government employees, the government was not happy